start calling you Shotgun Willie?
I wrote the song, you know.
Oh, that's how it all comes up.
Shotgun Willie sits around in his underwear, biting on a bullet and pulling out all of his hair.
What was your daughter's reaction? Was she like, Dad, I love you for that? Or, Dad, you're off your rocker?
No, she was appreciative.
She was?
Yeah.
You're a good dad.
I try to be.
You try to be because your dad wasn't there for you, right?
No, and it wasn't his fault. It wasn't my mother's fault. They couldn't get along. The divorce went that way. But my grandmother did a great job, taught me a lot of good things.
Yeah. But you're involved with your kids. And
how many kids do you have?
Yeah. Well, it's confusing. Didn't you just recently find out you have some daughter somewhere from 2012 or something? You found out.
Yeah, one showed up a few years ago.
How does that happen? I mean,
well, it's true. It's cool. I remember her mother, and she was a great gal.
Did you have a relationship with the mother, or was it a one-night kind of?
No, it was kind of a relationship. It went on for a few months.
And why did the woman never tell you that she had a baby?
She didn't know. I mean, she knew she had it, but she didn't. I don't think she wanted me to feel obligated that I had to hang around.
Isn't that lovely?
Yeah.
I mean, really. I mean, she didn't. She knew that you weren't in love with her, and she didn't want to saddle you with some sort of.
I think so.
Are you shocked by that? Because if I was lucky enough to have you fuck me, and I had your baby,
you would never leave him.
I would never. I would be like a barnacle on you and bug the shit out of you. You know what I mean?
You would not have been that generous.
No, I would have. And when your daughter shows up, how old is she at this point in her life?
Oh, 17, 18.
17, 18, and this lovely girl shows up. How does she contact you? How does that work? I mean, I've never experienced anything like that. That's why I asked. I mean, your life is so crazy.
Oh, I'm pretty easy to find, you know.
Yeah, so how does she contact you? An email? Is it something? Hi, I'm your daughter. And at first you go, there's no way, right?
That's pretty much the way it happened, and I wasn't sure. I didn't know, and but we did the whole DNA thing, and
right,
and sure enough, she was, and so end of story.
And then you invite her over to the house.
Oh, sure, and she's my kid.
I know, but is it weird because she really is a total stranger at this point? Is the paternal thing there?
Yeah, you can immediately see that we're related some way.
Wow. And do you have a relationship, or is it like kind of...
No, we still have a relationship, and she just had some medical problems. She's coming out of that doing great now, so we stay in touch.
And how do the other kids feel when, she shows up?
They're like, oh, no, we have to divvy up the inheritance one more time.
Another share gone.
Because, I mean, you're going to, one day, I hope it never comes, but you're going to leave behind a sizable inheritance and all your publishing and everything else.
Let them fight over it.
They're all going to fight. Did you make up a will? Did you do that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you did. You did. Yeah. So now this kid's going to get a cut of the action, too.
Well, sure.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'd be so pissed if I was one of your sons. I would be livid with you. Speaking of being a dad, I saw with the John Varvatos clothing, you did a whole campaign with your sons, and they're musicians, right?
Right.
And they go on tour with you.
Absolutely.
Did you ever say to your sons, what the fuck are you doing? Why do you want to be in music? It's to be Willie Nelson's kid and to be in music. Too tough, right? So
no, I kept guitars and drums and pianos around all their lives and hoping that they would.
You wanted them.
Yeah, and for a long time they never touched them.
Mm-hmm.
They're busy doing this and that. And,
right.
And then one day Lucas started playing the guitar a little bit, and Micah got on the drums and started playing her own thing, and now they're very good.
Yeah, you know why I brought up the Bill Gates thing where you made $1 million for playing his wedding? Because when I read about your life, there were times you would have zero money. You would go to a pawn shop and hock your guitar, which is your most beloved possession, right? Your guitar. Yeah. You would actually have to pawn your instruments.
I have to pawn it in the middle of the week in order to get enough money to make it to the weekend, and then I'd have to go get it out of the pawn shop to go play the gig.
Wow.
Wow. That's a lot of pressure, right? Mm-hmm. You still play that same guitar, the one with all the holes punched in it and all that stuff?
Oh, yeah, Trigger. Yeah.
Trigger. Is that a thing with you? You name the guitar? A lot of musicians do that.
I named it. Roy Rogers' horse was named Trigger.
Trigger, yeah. But why would you name your guitar Trigger? Because you love Roy Rogers?
Yeah, I love Roy Rogers, and I love horses.
Does it help for you to humanize your guitar? Does it form some sort of connection between you and the guitar?
Oh, I don't know.
Do you think it's superstition at this point that you play that same guitar? Because it looks like it's ready to fall apart, like it's held with Scotch tape.
No, it's the best guitar I've ever played. So there is a definite tone that this guitar gets. Now, I'm a huge Django Reinhardt fan, and the tone of this guitar is sort of close to the tone Django was getting on his guitar 40, 50, 60, 100 years ago.
So you don't play any other guitar? That's the one?
That's the one I like to play.
When you did the album in the studio, did you bring that guitar in?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No kidding?
Oh, yeah.
That plugs in? It's electric, too?
Oh, yeah. Play it every night on the show.
Wow. And Trigger, if I may, can I call, or do I have to call Mr. Trigger?
He'll love you. He'll love you.
Trigger is a male reference. So you think of the guitar as a male?
Yeah.
Because most guys with their cars and their guitars, it's always, like Lucille was B.B. King. They think of it like she, but you're with a dude. Is that gay?
Probably, yeah.
It probably is. You're a big supporter of gay rights.
Oh, I think that's great, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, where the hell did I read you refused to play something because of, you're an activist. In other words, if you hear any nonsense where people are fucking around with the gays and this and that, you will take a stand, right?
Sure.
Yeah, it's important to do that.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, when you grew up, you probably saw a lot of bullying of gay people, right?
You know, in the town I grew up in Abbott, Texas, there probably were a lot of gay people around.
Right.
I didn't know,
Right.
I didn't pay any attention, didn't care. It wasn't no big deal.
Right.
And then when I started finding out other people thought it was a big deal, I sort of wondered why,
You were always a free thinker that way, because when you grow up in an area where there's a lot of bigotry and stuff, sometimes you can just go that way because you don't know any better. You were able to see beyond where you grew up.
Yeah, and the people that I knew there in Abbott, none of them were bad people. They were all great people, religious people, and they didn't, they didn't have anything against gay people or any other.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
What about when Ray Charles started covering your songs? How did that happen?
Well, I had met Ray Charles, and we had hit it off good. We played a couple of shows together. I remember one time we played a show in Austin, and he wanted me to come by his hotel. I went by his hotel and walked into the door, and there's no lights.
Right.
And he said, "Come in and sit down." And he said, "You want to play chess?" And I said, "Sure." So we played chess in the dark.
In the dark?
With his chess set.
Who won?
He kicked my ass.
Did he really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah.
You also stuck up for... did he feel your face, Ray Charles, in order to see what you look like?
No.
He did not? Because I asked Billy Joel's, you was Ray Charles guy, and I said to him, he felt Billy's face. I said, was that strange for you? He goes, no, listen, the guy wanted to see what I look like.
I remember Roger Miller went up behind Ray Charles one time, put his hand over his eyes, and says, "Guess who?"
That's a good one. He was a pretty witty guy.
Oh, he was.
Yeah. Is it hard being your age and seeing so many of the great guys that you hung out with now they're gone? Does that cause you a lot of heartache?
Well, yeah. We lost, Ray Price and George Jones and, Charlie Lubin, a lot of good guys lately.
And these are guys who shared a lot of moments with you and also could relate to your struggle, right? I mean, there's not too many guys you could talk to about that. They've been through the wars, too,
and,
so to
and
speak.
they were the same time period and the whole thing,
So it's hard, right? It's depressing to wake up and get bad news all the time.
Oh, yeah, and, the older you get, the more people go away.
Yeah, for sure. I also like you took a stand on this SeaWorld issue, with the whales.
Yeah.
You stood up and said, hey, I don't think it's right that they hold these whales in captivity. I don't either. I don't understand it. So I guess you were booked at SeaWorld, and you said, no, I'm not going to do it, right?
Yeah, and a lot of other artists felt the same way. And,
right.
So, everybody kind of stuck together and said no.
I had Roseanne on the show the other day, Roseanne Barr.
Yeah.
Now, I remember when she ran for president, she asked you to be her vice president. You said yes.
When I was drunk, I said yes.
That's what I figured. That's what I wanted to know. And so she asked, and then you thought about it. You know, what the fuck?
Sobered up. What
am I doing? I'm running for vice president. I can't run things here. Oh my God, that is such a great story that you guys got together. Look, the name of the new album, Band of Brothers. That's the name. And it's in stores June 17th, which is
close. Yeah.
It's close. It's like 10 days or so, less than 10 days away. Yeah. What should we do? We should go out and get this CD, right?
That'd be cool. Yeah.
That'd be cool. Or you can probably buy it on iTunes or something like this, right?
Yeah, and Amazon, different places.
Different places. And you'll go out. You'll be on tour. You'll be supporting the record and all this, or you don't care?
Oh yeah, I'm touring anyway.
You'll be out there. Yeah. And if you want more information on tours, if you want more information on Band of Brothers, You go to willienelson.com. And Willie asked me to say this, and I say it with peace and love.